Hi friends, my name is Kat. Welcome to my channel and welcome to today's video where we're going to be going over my massive July TBR. So this is a month where I'm really decided to take it seriously about trying to read down my physical TBR. There'll be a video up probably next week or the week after about the goals that I'll be having going forward for the second half of the year. But I kind of decided let's try to finish my physical TBR. I have about 109 books on it and I'm going to put the most intense emphasis ever on trying to finish this off throughout the year, because why not let's just go for it. So welcome to today's video, which is definitely a really intense heavy focus on that. And also I picked out a few series for myself that I really want to make the effort to try and finish before the year's out, and they are very long series, like 10-ish books. So I decided why not add a few of those on top of this physical TBR challenge and just like really go for it. So we have a lot of books to talk about today, so I won't really ramble on too much, but we're going to be dividing this into 3 sections. Part 1 is my Summerween books, which is a readathon I'll be participating in. I'll talk about that more later. Part 2, just things off my physical TBR that I'm prioritizing. And part 3 is just the others. So these are going to be more of just the books that I'm focusing on for series. So series continuations, the editions that I'm trying to get to, and just how I'm going to prioritize those. So grab a coffee if you want and let's settle in and start talking about these books. I need a big sip. So first off, we're going to be talking about Summerween. This is a week-long readathon hosted by Gabby Reads, and the emphasis is really on reading like thriller or horror books throughout the summer, kind of giving you those like spooky summer vibes, but in the summer, and just like getting you into that spooky mood ahead of October. So I have decided I'm going to like put a really heavy emphasis on trying to read pretty much all of the thrillers that I have on my shelf. I do have a lot of unread ones, and these I can read very, very quickly. So that is kind of like my goal, is that I know I can get through a thriller like no problem at all. It is not something that takes a long time. So I might as well just try to like really put an emphasis on this and like get that physical TBR down. And also tentatively, the plan is to be doing daily vlogging for Summerween. We'll see if that changes. There's a good chance that things are going to come up and I won't be able to do it every day, but I am going to try to make like a very big effort to do like daily vlog every day through Summerween, because I'm so excited. And I usually never, like pretty much every year I want to participate in Summerween and just things happen. Like last year I was moving into this house in the week that it happened and it just like, it was too much insanity. So let's talk about these books. First off, we have a little bit of a sci-fi thriller, sci-fi horror, and this is Ghost Station by S.A. Barnes. So they wrote a book previously that was about like this abandoned spaceship. It was kind of like a Titanic-esque in space, and a group of people who discover it. This one is about an abandoned planet. There's some kind of deadly disaster that takes place on this planet and kills off a bunch of people. And now we have a crew who's going in to investigate and kind of see like and unraveling like the mystery of what happened on it. I didn't love the last book I read by this author, but I do have to say I'm incredibly excited to read this still. Sci-fi thriller, sci-fi horror, one of my favorite things to read. Really an underrated genre, one that needs to like have more stuff coming out in it. So I am excited to get to it. I'm just like not really going into it with the biggest expectations. Then another one that kind of I think gets into that sci-fi thriller kind of realm is The Last Murder at the End of the World. One of my most anticipated books of the year, but it has not been having the best reviews, so I'm a little worried. But it's this, we're on an island at the end of the world after like humanity has supposedly disappeared. There's a fog that has swept the planet, killing everyone, and we are in the last remnants of society. So after one of these scientists who live on this planet or lives on this island is killed, the security measure comes in place that's basically saying all of the guards, like all of the technology that protects this island from the fog, go down unless they solve the murder. So it's just the residents of the island rushing to solve this murder before the island comes and kills them all. I'm really excited, really excited, but I'm a little worried because I haven't heard great things. Murder Road by Simone St. James. I've only read one book by her before. I think I actually gave it 5 stars though. This is a young couple find themselves haunted by a string of gruesome murders committed along an old deserted road. I'm excited. I'm really excited. I can't lie. Like, I think a lot of her books are similar in certain ways. There's always like the same type of element in it. Something happens, like we're all kind of the same that way. So that's not like, it's not going to be the most shocking in that sense, but I'm so excited. I am a little worried that because I know what that element is, it might like slightly ruin the excitement for me. But she is someone I'm pretty sure I gave either a 4 or 5 stars for her last book, so can't wait. Black Sheep by Rachel Harrison. I love her books. They're really like weird, kind of like weird girl horror. It's usually like somebody involved in some kind of like mythological thing and, you know, just kind of going along with it. Like she did a book about witches, book about vampires. I really liked both of those. And I think this one is about a cult. A cynical 20-something must confront her unconventional family's dark secrets. And I don't know what the cult is about, but her family has a cult. They do some weird shit. She has moved away and then she has to come back and get involved in it somehow. Only If You're Lucky by Stacey Willingham. A twisty exploration of female friendship. I like that. I don't really need to read any more of this, any more of the synopsis, but I have read one book by her previously, I believe, Flicker in the Dark. Can't remember what that one was about, but I've read one book from her before. I have another. What Waits in the Woods. A young dancer's homecoming is marred by a grisly discovery and the realization that nothing in her past may be quite what she believed. So we have this ballet dancer. She's lived away from home for a long time. She comes home, and on the days she gets home, her former best friend is found murdered in her backyard, and we're following the investigation of that. Haven't heard of this author before, so new to me. And the last thriller we have is One Perfect Couple by Ruth Ware. I've really been enjoying Ruth Ware's books lately, but One Perfect Couple, it's like this reality TV show. We're following a few couples who are on this like reality competition thing on an island, and I think it's like some kind of island survival thing, but they get there and they end up like communications go down. They're all stranded on the island. They have no way to talk to anyone, and I think they're just trying to survive. I don't know if there's murder. I don't know if there's like someone hunting them, you know, but they're on this island cut off from the rest of the world and they have to survive. I'm excited. Like I've really been enjoying Ruth Ware stuff lately, so I am definitely going into this one excited. Okay, and our next chunk of books are just some things off my physical TBR. Being a little bit lighter on this part of it for today, just because I want to primarily focus more on the thrillers, so I'm not setting too many on this physical TBR. But first off, we have Blood of Elves, which is the first book in the Witcher series. This is one of the series that I'm committing to finishing this year. I think there's 6 books in it, 8 if you count like the 2 short story collections, which I have read. But if you don't know, this is about a Witcher who is a monster hunter, and his adventures, his like this political upheaval that's happening in this world between battles between kingdoms, and just the Witcher Geralt, who has been waiting for the birth of this prophesized child. The child has the power to change the world for evil or good. So this child, Ciri, she's hunted for her extraordinary powers, and Geralt gets involved to protect her. Really excited to get into this series because like I loved the Netflix show. Really, I haven't watched the last season, but from what I've watched, I've really enjoyed it. And it's one that I really wanted to get into the books because I want to know more about the political intrigue, the history of this world, what's going on between all of the different kingdoms and battalions and everything. So just like that nerd in me who wants to know everything about political intrigue is like, hell yeah, I want to get into this world. So I'm going to read book 1 this month, and we're going to probably try to do 1 a month for the rest of the year and finish off that series. Then we had Jade War. I read Jade City, which is book 1 in this trilogy last month. Really enjoyed it. A lot more than I was expecting to. Like it kind of started off a little rough for me, but I want to get into the second book right away because this is a very character heavy series and I don't want to forget anything before I'm going into the next one. I want to have it still fresh in my mind. I still want to remember who everyone is. I want to know what all their roles are. And basically, in this world, we're on an island and there is this substance name called Jade that gives people powers. And we're following 2 of the main clans who are basically fighting for control of this Jade and control of the island. So the clans are basically like mafia who use this Jade to be fighters, to be leaders, like to do everything to run their syndicates. And we're following one family within one of the clans, and they're basically prepping and getting ready for like a war that is coming. The first book was really setting up like all of the characters, all of the political intrigue, all of the suspense, like all of really laying the backstory of this world and what has happened to all these characters and why they're feeling the way they are. And I'm really thinking, mean, shockingly from the title, that this one gets into an intense war. I'm really excited. It did take me a little bit to get into the first book just because there were so many characters to follow. They all had like all of these different positions within the clan that you had to understand and like really position like where everyone is within the hierarchy, and that took me a while to figure out. Then as soon as like I got in, I was in. So really excited to get to this one. Then I want to read Dune Messiah. So this is the sequel to Dune and continues the story of Paul Atreides, and he is in this one, spoiler alert, he's the emperor, and he possesses more power than a single man was ever meant to wield. Worshipped as a religious icon, Paul faces the enmity of political houses he displaced when he assumed the throne in a conspiracy conducted within his own sphere of influence. So excited. Dune, 5 stars, like without a doubt 5 stars for me, and I'm so excited to get to this one. I'm like potentially setting this, like I'm gonna read all of the Frank Herbert books this year. That is my goal. I think there's 6 of them, and then I want to start getting into the extended world by Brian Herbert, and there's a bunch of them. There's like a bunch that go into the history, that goes into the future, that goes into all of this stuff. I cannot wait. Like I'm looking now, I think there's like 15 of them. I'm really excited. I want to read the entire Dune extended world. And the final book off my physical TBR is Age of Myth by Michael J. Sullivan. Something about gods. Wow, shocking. Humans have worshipped the gods. They called the Frey truly a race apart, invincible in battle, masters of magic, and seemingly immortal. But when a god falls to a human blade, the balance of power between the humans and those they thought were gods changes forever. I've heard a few really good things about this and this entire like series as a whole, so I'm excited to give it a try. I'm definitely excited for it. It's one that I think could be pretty good, and I know that, so this is a series, and I think there's other series within the world potentially by this author, so could be good. It's definitely like a very fantasy heavy month, but I don't mind at all. Now I'm just gonna talk quickly about the remaining books on my physical TBR. Well, actually no, not on my physical TBR, on my just TBR in general, and these are gonna be the ones that are continuations in series. So a few this year, all of them are series that I want to finish. I'm gonna be reading Dragon Republic by R.F. Kuang. This is the sequel to The Poppy War. I read it last month. It was actually, no, I met it 2 months ago. Anyways, it was a 5-star, one of my best books of the year so far. One that I'm absolutely obsessed with. It is just like this incredibly brutal war and a character who is incredibly morally gray and just trying to do anything to achieve her own goals. So I have book 2. Another one that I want to read in fairly quick succession so that I don't forget what's going on. I decided I'm finally going to try, well, this year I'm going to be reading all of the Robin Hood books. This is my goal. I want to read the entire Realm of the Elderlings. I think that's what the series is called. I want to read all those books this year. That is one of the big goals. So I've only read book 1, which I did give 5 stars, and that is book 1 in the Farseer trilogy, which is like book 1 in her entire world. So I want to read Royal Assassin and Assassin's Quest, sorry. Those are book 2s and 3 in the Farseer trilogy, which are the first trilogy in this world. So I'm going to read both of those. I have them both on audio, so they're going to be things that I'll be listening to in the background, like while I'm doing work, doing whatever. And also, yeah, just really trying to make like a big emphasis on actually listening to more audiobooks this month. But I do want to, finish both of those, and then in later months get to the world as a whole. This is just a story following a royal bastard who is basically told that like he has to have a purpose to make himself valuable to kings so that he's not killed off, and he ends up being brought in as an assassin. So he is part of the royal family, sort of, so he's able to kind of like get into a lot of places that a commoner wouldn't, but at the same time he's not fully royal, so he's able to like get away with a lot of other things and like get into things that the royals necessarily wouldn't. So he's like in a weird but perfect middle ground that he's able to like get into all these situations and have like some say but not enough, and like just enough that it makes him in the perfect position to be an assassin. And we're following his story. Book 1 was really like his training, him learning about being an assassin, all of that, and then I think the other books are going to be much more focused on missions he goes on. So I'm really excited. And then my final 2, I want to also finish the Expanse series by James S. A. Corey. So I've read books 1, 2, and 3, gave all of them 5 stars, and now we're on to books 4 and 5. And these are Cibola Burn and Nemesis Gate. I have both of them on hold at the library, and I'm also going to be trying to listen to these on audio. But yeah, really excited. It's about this huge expansive world, that's called The Expanse. This huge expansive like war within the galaxy galaxy. Because at this point in humanity's spread to outer planets as well as space stations along what they call the rim, like so the outer rim of the galaxy. And it's a potential war between all of these different planets vying for like freedom, or like they want to no longer be associated with Earth, and also the potential of an alien species coming in. Really, really love this series, and it's one that I just want to like focus on getting done. So there we go. Those are all of my books that I want to read this month. Really, really excited about it. I can't wait. I am so excited to get to all these. I'm so excited to start the challenge of trying to read down my physical TBR. And I think if I'm actually like serious about it, I could do it. Just one that I really have to stay focused for the rest of the year. So if you haven't already, please subscribe. Let me know if you've read any of these. Let me know what you're planning on reading this month. And hopefully I will see you in a video soon. Bye.